Manifestation isn't magic, it's mechanics, which means that inputs always lead to outputs. You guys have watched me manifest 50K followers in 6 weeks on TikTok, so you can trust me when I tell you that you've been lied to. Reality is not random, it is algorithmic. In other words, it does not react to what you want, it reacts to the state you are in. It only responds to certainty, not hope. Manifestation isn't really about belief. It's mechanical reality engineering reinforced by dominant identity states. Most people fail at manifestation because they think that it's about believing in something when it's really about reinforcing it as inevitable. The universe isn't granting wishes. She is running a program, which is incredible news because if you can unlock the code in your mind, then you will get everything that you want just like that. What does all of this mean for you? It means really good things. Number one, that free will is not about reacting to reality. It is about structuring it. Number two, you are not at the mercy of life. You are an architect of it, which is why manifestation is about becoming an alchemist, using your mind and your body to create something, a life that wasn't there before. Three, success is not a probability. It is a pre-programmed certainty. Translation, reality is algorithmic, meaning the code can be cracked, which is what you guys are seeing me demonstrate right now. Whatever is reinforced becomes dominant. This is why method acting is so crucial. This is why the Gaslight 3000 is so helpful. This is also why going ham with all of those niche manifestation hacks I have pinned at the top of my page is so important. It's all about repetition. With repetition, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, which is really good news because it doesn't require you to be born with like any sort of pre-existing advantage as long as you can just go over and over and over again with the method acting, the affirmations, the visualizations, the meditation, the self-concept work, the self-talk, you will get there. It's about stubbornness and certainty, not any sort of like personality trait or advantage that you are born with. Like on this playing field, we are all equalized. For me, manifestation has been so empowering because it didn't matter that I came from childhood abuse. It didn't matter the horrific things I went through. This law works the same, whether you are living in a shelter or whether you're born with a golden spoon in your mouth. If you master your mind, all of this becomes crystal clear. This is like everything out here is at your fingertips. This is really, really good news for you because this means the future is not random. The future is a function of dominant internal states, which are all under your control. I recognize also that we can be our own biggest stubborn enemy in the fact that sometimes like it can feel like our minds are turning against us. But really, this battle is never against the forces of the outside world. This is what I'm talking about. If you go to battle with the gargoyles in here and you win, everything else out here is easy. This was the biggest unlock for me because I only became this powerful when I realized that power isn't about external control. It's actually not even about whether anybody else agrees or signs off on me being powerful. It's about self-concept, my self-concept, dictating all external conditions. The reason it's able to do that is because my self-concept is so strong and it is rooted in certainty. Which is why, even if this is the first video of mine you're seeing, you're probably like, wait, her life goes her way. And it does, because what you're seeing in me now that this has been birthed into existence, this is what everybody else sees. Like, this is like what the baristas see. This is what the cop giving me a traffic ticket sees. This is what the gatekeepers in interview rooms see. Like, this is just what is interacting with the world now. And so the fact that you guys see me as like, oh, this is somebody who gets whatever she wants, this is what is just perceived universally, which is why going into the method acting, going into the self-concept work is so critical, and also why self-talk, getting that under control and being disciplined with it is essential. Because the manifestation and mindset game has to be born within, I couldn't look to my friends, family, coworkers, peers, the outside world to mirror back to me what I wanted to be before I became it. I couldn't have anybody validating something that wasn't in existence yet. The reason that I became who I am today is because I became that for myself. Everything that I had to seek in another person, I wanted that congratulations, I wanted that cheering on, I wanted that nurturing. I did that for myself. To know that you can actually provide yourself with those emotional needs in the short term when you are manifesting and reconstructing your identity, it's the most empowering thing in the world. Because if you can be self-reliant on governing your emotions, being able to generate feeling states from within, you are unstoppable. That means you are the master of your own dominion. You do not need a best friend to tell you something is good. You don't need a guy to make you feel worthy. You don't need a girlfriend to make you feel like you can be this person. If you can be this person without your parents telling you you are, without your friends telling you you are, without the barista making you feel like that, when that person comes through, they will be untouchable. This is why I encourage going in for months, steeping yourself like a tea bag in the feeling state and method acting. TLDR, reality is plastic and it is reshaping around primary states of being. So you don't need to go super paranoid. Like, I'm not always like, but my frequency, I've raised it steadily with these tools to now my baseline, it's pretty high. But that doesn't mean that every second of every day I'm feeling happy, excited, on top of the world. The primary state of being, I have elevated my frequency so high that now my general state of being, it has room for me to like sway every so often, because I have gotten myself into a category where my baseline is I'm worthy, I'm successful, I'm wealthy, I'm magnetic. And you can too, through method acting, repetition, and the tools pinned on the top of my profile. If you're locked into I'm trying to manifest, you're reinforcing the state of trying. And remember, this is about states. If you are locked into this is inevitable, reality has no choice but to confirm it. This is not belief, this is code. This is the input. You put in X, you get out X. You put in Y, you get out Y. You put in half-assed effort, you get half-assed results, if you even get any at all. This is why I manifested 50K followers in 6 weeks. Not because I hoped for it, but because I knew the input equals the output. So I had to come on knowing who I was, knowing what I had to offer, knowing that I was the most magnetic, lucky, powerful manifester out there. How did I know that? Because I gaslit myself into feeling like that for months. Manifestation isn't about thinking, it's about becoming. And you do it over and over and over again until it clicks. Because it will click. 100% it will click. If you stop, it will never click. The moment you start seeing signs like synchronicities, angel numbers, you are accelerating, so keep going. And what I said earlier about getting your frequency to a state where it's so high that you can afford to have little fluctuations, like be sad or have a bad day, this is the power of identity. This is the power of really encoding the understanding that the universe is responding to state, always, never, desire. So you need to speak in the language of the universe, because the universe doesn't recognize what you hope for. She reorganizes herself around what is already structurally integrated into your self-concept. So this is why identity work, self-concept work is so important. Because my self-concept is I'm magnetic. I'm the exception to every rule. I get every single thing I want. So I can afford to have a sad moment. I can afford to like have a weird, awkward like frustration with a friend, because I know that that has no bearing on my ability to attract. I'm the exception to every rule. I am untouchable. I get whatever I want. Me having a bad day, me getting annoyed at something at work, that doesn't change the fact that I'm the most powerful manifester I know. When your identity is right, a lot of the questions that you guys are asking me, you can actually self-answer yourself, because this entire manifestation game is you are never needing permission. So that includes my permission, like my permission to interpret your situation. You really don't need it, because if you are asking me a question of like, oh, like I am feeling like sad about this, like, is this gonna mess up my manifestations? That means that you are still in the identity of trying. But when you are being in the identity of knowing that you are untouchable, that you are magnetic, that no matter what you do, you can't help but get what you want, life can't help but to work out for you. Reality has no choice but to recalibrate to match, which is literally what you guys are witnessing on my page right now. This is an indisputable universal truth. Reality organizes itself around dominant energy states, not weak desires, which is why doing all of these methods like the affirmations, the Ray Lewis, like going ham, D-Day style with all of those techniques, it's great, because all you're trying to do is have the positive be more than the negative. As long as your identity is solid in who the fuck you are, and you can still get all of those desires coming in. But I actually think the best situation is to create the identity of somebody who just lives a really happy, fucking fulfilled life. When in doubt, just remember, free will is not about reacting to reality, it is about structuring it, and you start with your identity.